Hello, everyone. Welcome to Friday's Fireside Chats. We've moved from Instagram TV to YouTube and Facebook, so we hope that you found us. If not, we'll have a recording for you. I'm just going to give a quick update on a wrap up of the week to let you know what we've been doing at Safe in the City and what's been going on in the kind of global perspective. Um, so London Tech Week just happened, and one of the interesting things that we found is there were so many more purpose-driven businesses coming out there, way more conversations about how does, COVID impact the economy, how does sustainability come into, businesses and other innovation. So it's really been actually quite an exciting time to see the movement towards, not just profitability. Um, so we've also been in the misogyny as a hate crime campaign. So that's being led by Stella Creasy in the UK. It's really looking at how misogyny can actually now become something in legislation and policing that would take incidents like sexual harassment to actually be denoted as a hate crime, which means better reporting, a lot more severity of different crimes. In the criminal justice system. So it's a really good win. There is a law commission consultation that's going to be on the 21st. So you'll see some more things of how we're collaborating with a number of incredible organizations. So we'll post some of those in the show notes. We also had a really interesting conversation with LinkedIn in their response to sexual harassment. So I've met with their product team and I'll be writing a summary of that because there is quite a lot of work to do in terms of even online sexual harassment and how we can understand how we can actually prevent it. And finally, we are going to be doing a crowdfunding campaign. So this is probably one of the first times that you've been hearing this. And we're going to be really excited. We're launching on the 28th. You'll be seeing more and more content. So just get ready to share, to support in any way that you can. And we're really excited to share more with you soon. But let's cut to the chase. We have a really special guest, a good friend of mine, calling in from Arbat, Morocco. This is Chaymae joining us today. She is a serial entrepreneur, a founder of Innovation Pie. She's one of the BBC Africa tech guest experts, as well as a really accomplished writer. So she's had such an amazing career through so many different countries, even. And I'm really excited to have her on the show today, to have her introduce herself to you and dive into some really important topics. So welcome, Chaymae.
Thank you. Thank you, Julian. Always good to talk to you.
It's good. I was like, we were saying before, like at least this helps slot our, busy schedules. It helps us slot a time that we can actually connect. How was that
Exactly.
intro? Did I miss anything? I know you've done so much. It's so hard to summarize all of the things that
That's
you do.
actually a better intro than what I was thinking about doing for myself. So,
Perfect. Awesome.
yeah.
Well, do you want to tell us a little bit more about who you are, how you came to become a founder, and maybe some of the other things that you've learned along the way?
Of course. Yes, I am the founder of Innovation Pie. It's a collective of people all over the world. We do innovation for startups and for corporates, depending on the countries. And so we're about 25 people in New Zealand, in Morocco, in the UK, in France, a bit of everywhere. So if anyone is going to see this video, I'm going to say hi. Then when it comes to coming to entrepreneurship, I guess it comes from an inspiration that I got from my mom. Growing up, I've always seen as my role model the female in my family has always worked and she has always found a way to do something, build something. She had a few businesses when we were growing up that probably gave me some of the basics of business. Then going to that's the side of being Moroccan African. So we have part of that in the blood. Like we always negotiate. We say something about if you go to a shop and you say, how much is this cup? And they say £0, you'll say, oh, that's too expensive. You need to give me a better price. That's basically.
Oh wow, I need to go on holiday there then.
That's the negotiation mindset in Morocco. Then moving to India, India is also like you have this huge difference between rich people and poor people. You
Mm,
like it's just crazy. The middle class is almost just like tiny, tiny, tiny.
yeah.
And people need to survive, so they need to always create things. I've been exposed to a lot of small families trying to get something just to create small businesses to survive.
Mm,
Otherwise, they don't have any protection from the government. They don't have where to live. They don't have anything to sustain themselves. Then moving to Vietnam, Vietnam is pretty much in the same mindset. You have all this, the businesses are mainly led by female, by the woman, the mom and grandma of the families have a huge impact in how the family is shaped, how the businesses are shaped, the education. It's usually the women who lead pretty much everything in Vietnam. That was also something that's contributed to my mindset as an entrepreneur. I started my first venture in Morocco, but the first real one, like in the startup, not like a normal traditional business. This was in Vietnam, cosmetics, and then moving to the UK, then it was more serious. So I got
mm,
more studies. I got exposed to a lot of people who are also in the same mindset, getting into the startup scene. Uh, that helped a lot. Having done my studies a bit everywhere in different countries, that also gave me a lot of insights from all over the world. Having mentors, mentoring people, all this knowledge sharing, knowledge that's circulating, that got me at some point. You definitely need to do something about that. You kind of see it yourself, Gillian, like having lived as well in multiple countries and having traveled the
mm.
world.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I was really I think that's such a good point in that so many people think, oh, well, you need to be at this certain level or have this certain income before you can start anything. And what you're exposed to when you live in developing countries is that actually entrepreneurship is just a way of life. It's like how people get by. Even when I lived in Uganda. I remember seeing an article that said Uganda was one of the most entrepreneurial places, but it was because they had such a gap of government support that families would just, figure out a way. And no, they weren't, rocket ship, like, very shiny new kind of innovations, but they were still, being entrepreneurial of how they could survive. So I think that's such an important thing that you raised, and that also condensing all of those different countries that you've been in, and inspiration from women to see how this kind of has taken you to where you're at now. I think it's incredible. You're certainly someone I aspire to do more, and keep following all of your amazing work.
Well, it's
So
the same
maybe
thing for you are
uh
definitely inspiration for me as well.
I mean, that's the best type of friends, when you can inspire each other and just keep moving the
Exactly.
needle. Yeah.
And this is an important, yeah, this is an important one as well. Just before we tap into the next one, it's helping each other as female entrepreneurs, as female who have seen something different and who have had the chance to do something a little bit more pushed than if we were in a normal job, as an example,
Mm.
in a company somewhere. So having that knowledge and sharing it and pushing each other, it's super important for us to grow as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And Shami's done so many, mentoring, and I think, that's been something quite core, coaching, things like that, you're just continuously being able to package what you learn, provide it to someone else to add value, and kind of, continue on, as well as receive lots of information. But I think that's fantastic. And as you said, like there's again a huge opportunity for women to look at things and solve problems that are from a female perspective, because a lot of the things that have been designed around, usually a Western man. So, Invisible Woman, you have to read this book if you haven't. I'm buying it for like basically anyone who's interested to read, but maybe that's a good segue to sharing a little bit of how we met, because we actually did meet, I guess, in terms of a bit of a mentorship, in that I was brand new to entrepreneurship. I had a very crummy pitch deck and concept of what it was supposed to look like, and then ended up meeting Chaymae in a park. I still kind of remember it, and just being very in awe of like your expertise and your poise and all your experiences. But yeah, maybe you can share a little bit more about your memories of that too.
I still remember that first day when we met with the initial pitch deck in that park near my office in London.
I don't feel like we looked at it too long. I was probably like, okay, let's just talk about the concept and, you know,
No, yeah. It
got
was
to
pretty
start
good.
somewhere.
But we did a bit of free work. But like, I'm super, super proud of you when I see the progress from when was it? Like 4 years ago, I would say,
I think that
to
was starting.
four, something,
Yeah.
yeah, to now. I'm like, wow, this is incredible, and like really a lot of respect to you, to your effort,
Yeah.
to your consistent progress and hard work. That's pretty good. So
Thank
my
you.
memory, I remember when we had that catch up, and you said, "Hey, this is what I have, and this is what I want to go to." It was like, okay, I definitely see this concept working. I definitely rely to it as a woman who come from Morocco, which is also some sort of like it's patriarchal society. It's traditional. It's somehow religious. So relying to it as a female growing in this type of country, there is this notion of safety that's very different from Western countries. As an example, as a female, you need to go home earlier before the dark comes in. You need to take specific routes. You cannot go from anywhere. So this already you could rely to it straight away. Then having lived in India, I remember in India when Uber started getting great in the country, that was a lifesaver, because it was like, yeah, actually I can use Uber and I can share my locate like my
Mm,
geolocalization with someone to see that I'm going from point A to point B safely.
mm,
They had well, I mean, there are stories everywhere in the world. It's just like, also as a foreigner in a different country, I have this extra vigilance. So knowing
mm,
that I can share my geolocalization with someone, or knowing that I have that extra safety, that I can be traced, or that the driver or the cab driver could be tracked if something happens. That was also a reassurance for me. With this said, I had a great experience in India. I had a great two years with some, of course, sexual harassment stories in the street. That's a given. But overall, like, super amazing, overall safe experience in India.
mm,
But it's also like, you never know.
mhm,
You have to be very careful every time where you go, where you stay, which areas you stay. When you travel, you always need a man with you, or you need to be in a group of people. So all these
mm.
things, where when I saw safe in the city, I was like, definitely, this is definitely something I can use traveling everywhere. So yeah, that's the first memories that I still have.
Oh, amazing. I'm so glad that they're so clear and fresh. Like I do remember, as you said, like especially us relating different stories, and it's not that we're, timid or afraid women. It's that constant extra layer of consideration of like how I need to behave, or how I need to, plan ahead, or, assess a situation. It's just because it's just been inbuilt, and as you said, like it's almost regardless of what country you're in, you're most likely going to come across it, and you hope that, it's more of the lighter touch types of sexual harassment, which obviously none of them should happen, but that it doesn't escalate to something a lot more serious. So I think that's a really good point.
That's the
And
thing
I
is like
Go ahead.
some stuff, when it comes to sexual harassment, it's a lot around education as well. It's things that we learn
Mm,
from when we are kids till we grow up. It's like, as a man, you shouldn't be, if you see that the woman is not consent, and if she doesn't respond, then you shouldn't actually go in forward. I mean, I'm
mhm.
saying as a man, as a woman, as a typical model that we
Yeah,
have in.
heteronormative. Yeah.
So no, it's not like really gender related. It's just in general to describe the situation. Then for me, I would rather have, okay, now it's almost not too late, but we can do whatever we can to educate people who are our age and older,
Mhm.
and invest more in the younger generation so that they have these as basics and values from the ground growing up, and then preventing something from happening by taking extra precautions. And this is where Safe and the City is like, yes, go travel, live your life, don't stay home, like just
Mm.
don't stay in your bubble. You want to explore, meet other people, do whatever you want. Just when you go somewhere and you don't have you go to a new country, you are automatically extra, you have that
Cautious
fear,
or
whether,
yeah.
yeah,
Hmm. Yeah, I think that's
more in other
every
yeah, exactly. So rather you safe in the city and travel than not travel and stay just in a few countries where you feel comfortable and never cross that comfort zone that you have.
exactly. No, exactly. And I think that's such a good point that you raised in that, never I think there's so many products that accidentally kind of build fear within the product because it's, alarm bells and, a number of different things that it's like, oh, I have to like be tracked and have these different things. Whereas, being able to have that built in of like, because I need to navigate helps, it helps kind of like change the perspective and also open it up so it isn't, purely about women, because men will face these, different types of perspectives. And again, heteronormatively, two genders, very simple, but not necessarily inclusive. But yeah, in terms of that being something that, you know, we really wanted to make sure that it is looking at preventing, but giving people tools along the way. So I think that's
Yeah,
ultimately true. And as you said, like, you're being able to, even ping ideas on your UX, and I would love to like hear a little bit more of like why you picked that as your kind of niche. I mean, you can do everything, I really believe, but you've, honed in, and it'd be interesting to know like why did you become passionate about this? And also, I know you were involved in so many other projects. Like when we met in that park, you had this Chrome extension that was about hate words and educating people around, what does it really mean to say the F word or say like a hate, like, yeah, a racial hate word or, a
yeah.
misogynist word. So yeah, tell us a little bit more. How do you think you can create impact through UX and some of the other projects you started?
That's the thing about user experience, is everywhere. It's literally everywhere. And now we know that things online and everything around the digital world can go faster than regulations in government. So it's also, we need somehow to uh, educate, to prevent, to it's our responsibility. Like for me, I see as a user experience specialist, as someone who does lots of strategy and who advise other entrepreneurs and other corporates on how to design and build their products. I always see that these are my values. These are my
Hmm.
values as a person, and I like to work with people who have similar values. Actually, you remember when we were talking about Safe and the City, and we were reviewing part of the UX around, okay, to go from point A to point B We have all these reports that come, the links from the police, and we have all of this.
Mm,
We had worked on how can we surface this information that still be reassuring to people in a way, because this is not supposed to frighten people. This is
mm,
supposed to help them. And this is where user experience comes in, is how can you reach your objective in like the most efficient way, and give the user that reassurance, that trust, make sure that everything you do aligns with your objectives as well, as an entrepreneur, as a person, as a community. So you care a lot about the community, and I know that you do everything with the continuous research, continuous testing, and I have been part of it throughout like all these years. This is fulfilling for me, is when I see a product progressing, and I see a product serving purpose and helping
mm.
people progress or do something better, like live a better life through technology. That's from one side. The other side is curiosity. I'm someone who's very curious. I love learning new things.
That's amazing. We were
So,
just saying off camera you're learning Russian, and I was like, wow, of course you are. I love
yeah,
that.
yeah, currently learning Russian. The other four languages are not enough anymore.
Yeah, I've only racked up whatever, 5, 10.
I only speak
Incredible.
four languages. So, yeah, the plugin for that we won at the Google campus in London, that was pretty good as well. It's also aligns with this ideas around values and around education, because throughout history we always had differences. If today we have some sort of discrimination or any differences between gender or race or anything like that, it doesn't come from nowhere. There is always
Mm,
history behind.
yeah.
And this plugin goes around schools. So children at school, sometimes you hear some racist comment or some sexist comment, and you don't know where it comes from. I mean, the child is 10-year-old. Why would
Yeah.
you be racist or sexist at this age? It's this kind of things. Where do they
Mhm.
come with this information? It's also there, like they are collecting information from everywhere, and it's up to us as well to have that extra vigilance and surfacing things that could be that could mark that period of their age. Actually, no, I shouldn't be doing that. Maybe I
Mm,
should reflect about doing this. Sometimes it doesn't only come from family. Maybe the family is actually really correct and giving the right education, like they are pro equality, equity, whatever. Like
yeah.
I think the
Who
child can
has
come
those
up
parents?
with that. Yeah, you don't know where they come from. It's not only the family, it's the school, it's the environment, it's everything around us. So this plugin was for schools to install, especially in libraries, when people start sending comments to other students,
Hmm.
bullying them in a way, or saying anything sexist or racist. The plugin can like reads the words that are to be sent, and when they click send, the pop-up says, if let's say I say the fact, sorry, I said the
It's fine. If you've been hiding from that word this whole time, I don't know where you've been living on the internet. This is
let's
demonstration purposes anyways.
if I say like the example that we've put on the YouTube video is the word bitch. Like
Mm,
someone is about to send something like that to someone, and you say the pop-up says, "Did you know that X% of women in Great Britain or whatever the country where they are statistically suffer from cyber harassment?"
mm,
Are you sure
mm.
you want to send this message? It's not, we don't block the message from going. We just
Yeah,
search it as, are
inform.
you sure? And we give them why they should reflect on this before sending it. Same thing for a racist comment. If they are about to say something racist that exists in the database, we just surface a message. Did you know that X number of people or X percentage of people suffer from discrimination in this country? You can give them a bit of history to read more about it. Are you sure you want
Mhm.
to send this message? It's
That's
about this type
amazing.
of education. Yeah.
I think that's so good. And again, that's a way that we can expedite, issues like equality or inequity or, harassment and hate through technology by just getting people to be more aware of like how they're utilizing this to actually cause maybe someone extra damage and having a little, hopefully, conversation in their head of being like, do I want to be that person that contributes to cyberbullying and mental health issues and, even worse, circumstances. So I think that's incredible. Like I really love that that you did that. And is that still active? Can people use it, or is that in schools only?
Yeah, it's active. It's a plugin that's available on Google Chrome. It was a product of a hackathon with a team of I think we were 4 or 5 people. We worked on it
Amazing.
over the weekend. We brainstormed everything over the weekend. We developed it over the weekend, and it's still
Wow.
available online. Like anyone can use it.
Amazing. And what was the name again for people who don't know?
I'll send you the link. I'll send you the link.
Okay.
We can
Okay. We can
add
add
it on
it.
the yeah.
Amazing. Cool. Well, I feel like we could probably talk all night, but usually we try to keep it short. And I know that you've changed your Russian lesson for this too, so want to make you sure that you can get back to your team and work. But is there anything else that you'd like to share? Like, we'll be, of course, sharing more about Chaymae, linking to her, as well as all of the projects that she's referenced, as well as Innovation Pie. But is there any kind of final words that you'd like to leave for our Friday fireside?
So, but yeah, I mean, the one big message for everyone is if you are thinking about an idea and you think, oh, maybe I should do it, just do it. If you need help, come to us. We'll help you to get your idea into a product. That's something we can do. Definitely, we can mentor you. We can help with the tech, the design, the UX, etc. But it's always about yes, achieve what you want to do. Go travel the world. You safe in the city. If you are in an area that you think, yeah, I need, I feel like I need, I am. I want to go to this country, but I'm not sure. Things like that. Just like get your head around this. Sometimes it's also, it talks about mental health a lot.
Hmm.
It's a big subject as well. I mean, we are not going to go into it now, but I would say preparing yourself mentally as well before
Mm,
traveling, not only your luggage, is super important. I
yeah.
don't know why we turn this into travel. I think maybe because it opens a lot of doors in the mind and in life in general. But this is the when you say, do you want to add something? I was really wanted to say yes, do something great, go for it.
Ah, I love that. And yes, prepare yourself for travel as well as entrepreneurship if you are looking to start something, which I very much encourage and endorse. Everything that Chaymae produces is just amazing. So thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for having me, and it was so good to see you. I really hope I can come visit you soon in Morocco, 'cause I need some sunshine, and
Yes,
it'd be great to
do.
see.
See you soon.
Amazing. All right. Take care.
Bye
Bye.
bye.